Baja and builds. In this video, we're going to talk about the mad rush to get our vehicles prepped for the trip down to Baja, Mexico pretty quick, and some of the epic builds we got going on in the shop right now. Hey everybody, it's Bo with X's 4x4, and we build badass Jeeps. Well, we didn't want to do a video this week on some topic because really what I wanted to do was give you an update kind of where we're at in the shop, what we've been doing, and why you haven't seen any kind of fresh content for the last couple of weeks. Mostly it's because we've been doing the same thing over and over and over again, which is Hemi conversions and re-gears, which re-gears is pretty much like our bread and butter. You know, we switched from doing LSs to Hemis. We've been doing one like every single week for the last month, which is very awesome. And we're very, very thankful to all our customers out there that have been wanting to participate in that. Right now, this week, what I'm doing right now is, you see this JL up in the air. We are preparing this Jeep and my Gladiator for Baja. We'll be leaving in about, I think, 10 days.
Carry the two? Yes, that's correct.
Ish, yeah, 10 days. We're leaving for Baja. If you look right now, this Jeep is nothing but a frame. We're gonna be doing a build video on this one very soon, but you'll see it's basically got what I would call an Evo spec chassis. So Evo long arms, Evo double throwdown in the front, bolt-on coilovers in the rear, our custom spring rates on it. It's getting the 6.4 Hemi, Gen Right tire carrier, basically all the really, really nice stuff that you could buy and put on a JL Wrangler, it's getting. In addition to that, Curry F9 axles, my absolute favorite axle in the world. As a lot of you know that you've seen it, my JK is the 9-inch axle. I didn't want to build my own this time. Curry makes a great, I mean, if anybody makes a 9-inch axle and it's the best.
The best, Jerry, the best.
It's gonna be Curry, so we chose Curry 9-inch axles for this. We also got them for my Gladiator, but unfortunately, we just didn't have the suspension ready in time for the Gladiator, so rather than do something this drastic to our build right at the last minute, we're gonna hold off on that, and hopefully, after we get back from Baja, you'll see new axles and new suspension coming on the Gladiator. More on that later. We've been very, very busy here. And again, we're very thankful to everybody out there for what you guys have been doing. You've been keeping us busy. COVID, you know, it's something that we haven't really touched on, but I'm gonna touch on it now. You know, ever since COVID started back in I think really started seeing the effects of it in April. A lot of businesses, including ourselves, were really scared about what that was gonna do to us. It was the complete opposite. You guys really stepped up out there and started doing some big things to your Jeeps.
Shut up and take my money.
Everything just tripled around here. We've been swamped. You know, most of you that are calling and wanting something done, we're always telling you we're about 45 to 60 days out. And all I can say is thank you guys again for that. Flip side to that is, please be patient if you're calling and you're wanting parts.
I'm attempting to sound empathetic because quality assurance is listening.
It's just been a nightmare. The entire industry is just a train wreck right now. And the manufacturers, they got their hands tied. They can only do so much every day. You just gotta be patient, guys. We're gonna get through it.
We're gonna get through this.
We're gonna get those Jeeps built. It's just gonna take some time. All of that being said, you see kind of one of the projects we're building for Baja. Let's go take a look at my truck and I'll show you some of the stuff that we've been doing to get ready for that. We've made a couple of changes to the Gladiator in preparation for Baja. We built this rack in the back, kind of a chase truck style build. We got the Baja designs everywhere we could put it. Some Baja S1 ambers in the back for dust light. The rear taillight setup that has the turn signals integrated into it. We got the new roto packs. I don't know if you guys have seen those or not, but those are roll bar mount, circular style roto packs. They don't hold much, 1.5 gallons. We'll be running 2 of these. This is like a last resort, and with a 6.4 Hemi, when you're off road, 3 gallons total might get us further down the road before we can get to a gas station. I don't know if they're gonna do a whole lot. One of the things that we're building for the truck, I don't think it's gonna be here in time for Baja, but we do have a 38-gallon fuel tank that's gonna go back here where the spare tank used to go. The skid bumper thing that we have back here is going to protect that, and it'll also have a skid plate built into it too. For those of you that are interested in that, we are working on a network that will allow us to use the original stock tank and that one to give you a total of almost 60 gallons of fuel. So for you overlanders, that's something that we have in the works right now. Hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have that completely ironed out. We also have our spare tower mounted up. We might go a little bit higher on version 2. That way you could actually slide. I know I have some Pelican cases that are about 12 inches tall. And that's just a little bit shorter than 12 inches, so we couldn't get them underneath there. We might raise that up a little bit. That's sitting up high enough to where you can still utilize the bed, but it's not blocking the rear view. So a guy like me, I could sit up in there 6'3". I could still see out the rear view just fine. I really like where it's at right now. UHF, VHF radio antenna mounted back here as well. I need to pull back in the shop later this evening. We'll be mounting in our Lowrance GPS antenna on top of that as well for our HDS7 Live setup that's in the truck. We'll be using that for navigation when we get down to Baja. You probably noticed the truck's in a little bit lower. We dropped it in the rear to a 4.5 instead of a 6.5 inch lift. When we first built the truck last year, we never intended to leave 6.5 inch coil springs and Rancho shocks in it for as long as we did. Hey, props to Rancho, but those shocks held up actually a lot better than we thought. When we took them off, they still had a lot of life left in them. Good on you, Rancho, for building some great 7000 series shocks. They held up really well. Going down to Baja, we want to make sure we had a shock that could hold up for what we're going to be doing. So we swapped out, lowered the truck down 2 inches, threw those King reservoir shocks in there. That definitely has improved the ride quality a lot.
I like it a lot.
We added some King 2-inch bump stops in the rear as well. Using the Evo JK kit, we had to chop up the brackets a little bit, but you can see that they installed and welded up really clean. Same thing, we added some King bump stops in the front. They're dialed in perfectly as well. Bumping out about a 1/4 inch before the coilovers. Really happy with the truck right now, where it's at. Broke some hearts, turned down some people for some off-roading in the last couple of weeks, but I was like, you know, last thing you want to do when you go on a big trip like that is start taking it out, messing around with it off-road.
In case you break something.
No airbags?
Broken U-joint.
Tail light.
I broke the tail light. I broke through.
But yeah, I think everything on the truck's pretty lined out for Baja. Here's an interesting build that we have in the shop right now. Customer bought a brand new off the lot JL Rubicon. This one came with a 2-liter turbo. He went to the dealership, paid for it, and he left. And then I went to the dealership, picked it up, brought it to the shop. We changed out the hood. We changed out the fenders, shipped it up to Starwood Motors in Dallas, and they did their Kevlar treatment to it. They dropped it off last week. This one's a really interesting build. We're yanking the 2-liter out, and this one's getting a Hellcat. Spicer UD60s, Evo bolt-on coilovers, custom spring rates, rock slide engineering steps. Everything on this thing is getting changed out. In the headlights, he's getting road armor bumpers. He's getting Baja Designs light bar on it. That's gonna be wrapping up towards the end of October-ish, maybe beginning of November. So look forward to that build video as well. Let's go take a look at another Gladiator we got here. Here's another Hemi conversion we just wrapped up. We're waiting on some coilovers for the rear. Total redo on this Jeep. Customer, he had some Pro Comp tires on it, Method wheels, Evo 6.5 inch springs with King shocks. We ripped out the motor, we put the 6.4 Hemi in it, and we changed out a suspension. We're gonna go with Evo coilovers. Our spring rates, we're gonna color match them to the truck. We ripped off those Pro Comp tires. Not a fan.
Did you get her done?
Just kidding, we don't give a fuck.
Pro Comp tires. We threw on the Nitto 40-inch truck grapplers with some KMC 232s, the beadlocks, tidying up some wiring and stuff on it, but as soon as the bolt-ons get here for the rear, we'll finish dialing in this truck and he'll head back up to Dallas, hopefully next week before I leave for Baja. So again, we're really thankful to everybody for all the work that you guys have been sending our way. We're very blessed and we're very grateful to all of you out there for that. By the time you probably see this video, we're probably gonna be hitting 10,000 subscribers. That's so awesome.
Man,
What's going on, fans of Exodus 4x4? Just wanted to reach out on behalf of the squad, aka Bubba. Nice onesie. Is it coming men's? For 10K subs. You guys are a bunch of fucking legends, gems, beauticians, USDA certified organic, grass fed. And yeah, fucking hey, Jeeps are dope. Jeeps are sick. Jeeps are tight. I like Jeeps a lot. I rip around in Jeeps and fucking was raised on a Jeep. And I mean, Jeep playing music right now outside. So fuck yeah, Jeeps are awesome and you guys are awesome. And you sure see? Ninja Dust. Herda.
It blows my mind every time I think about that. I've had people stop by here that just want to take pictures with me, and that's super awesome. It's totally foreign to me. I don't understand it, but hey, I'm so thrilled that you guys are loving our channel, that you're really appreciating the content that we're putting out, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Any ideas that you guys got for any kind of videos that you would like to see, please, you know, in the comments, you know, put them down there, something like that. I try and respond, or at least read and like every single comment that you guys put out there. So don't think if you're putting up comments that we're not reading them. Trust me, I am. For more videos and cheap stuff, off-roading or whatever, click here.